What's up, brawlers? It's your boy Dusk here. Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my favorite deck that I've made so far. It is a Pyrus Haos Darkus, or Pyrus Darkus Haos, or Pyrus Darkus, whatever you want to say it. And this is by far my favorite deck that I've made so far. I was waiting until I had a special mat ready, and I was waiting until I had my deck foiled out, but I'll just do it as is. So my Bakugan, I'll start off with Dragonoid. Well, my camera angle's not the best, but I will try. I need to get a tripod. But yes, Dragonoid, Pyrus Dragonoid. The cores I use with him are 250 plus 3 and 150 plus 2. You notice I marked them down. Oop. Didn't even do it on the right side. So I use my Dragonoid for my Pyrus side. For Darkus, I use Hydorous Ultra. He has 800 B power, 1 damage rating. He gets plus 3 damage rating on Fire Fist, that's what it's called. For the Fire Fist, I use plus 253 again, and plus 152, plus 2. And my Bakugan, he's going to bounce up and do his craziness. Perhaps I should have these in the back, I guess. There we go. And finally, I use Haos Nillious. Now, Haos Nillious, I use a 250 plus 3 and a 650 for that one. And that's what he looks like. He has 300 B power and 5 damage rating. Now, for my Pyrus cards, I use Titan Dragonoid times 2. I use 3 Dan Kouzos. I use 3 Inferno Wings. I use 3 Song of Fires. I use 3 Sifting Ashes. And finally for Pyrus, I use 2 Might of Cyndeus. Now for Darkus, I use 2 Hydorous Ultra. I use 3 Pact of Darkness. I use 3 Blackhole. I use 3 Stoneskin for the B power gains, because this card is amazing. Use 3, you're going to hear 3 a lot, 3 China Riot. This card I like to use as sacrifice fodder for my Pact of Darkness and my Sifting Ashes and my Stoneskin. Finally, for the Haos, I use 2 Titan Nillious. Yep, should leave those out, I guess. 2 Titan Nillious. 3 Light's Courage. 3 Consort. At the moment, I use 1 Cutepocalypse, I think it's called. I might raise that to 2 and take out my 1 Bome Defense. But at the moment, I'm just playing those as one-ofs to try to see which one I like more. So the basic strategy of the game, of the deck is to dominate early with high B power and try to get just an early rush so you don't have to worry about later game. Use cards like Light's Courage and Stoneskin as your main win cons. It's not a flashy deck. It's not one that damages high. It's just one that consistently wins. Of course, there's combos in the deck like Consort with Titan Nillious. Here, I'm just hold them like this. Consort with Titan Nillious. And of course, the big combo that everyone knows and loves, Dan Kouzo and Titan Dragonoid. And another combo I have with Titan Dragonoid, because a lot of people don't like using past like 3 to 4 Evos. I think all mine are 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, 3, 4, and 5. So what I use is Song of Fire. Just generate that extra 2 energy on turn 3. Then you can have a Titan Dragonoid out on turn 3. I'm sorry that you can't see the full card at all points. Like I said, I'm going to try and get a tripod and maybe redo this, but I just wanted to get this deck list out there. Everyone's making their deck list right now, and yeah. And another card that I use a lot to win games is Might of Cyndeus. I'm thinking of upping this to 3 just because I like the card and I have it. So it also works really well with Pyrus Dragonoid and Haos Nillious. Haos, unlike what they say, is Haos. I don't like how they're pronouncing it nowadays. It's really weird. What are other cards? Obviously, the only good flips in the game at the moment are Blackhole and Pact of Darkness. I don't like any of the outsider cards, even though those are considered the good ones. They don't really work too well in most cases. And even, like, some games I've seen, like, people just playing flips and then just, like, never going off every single time they want to because they've been... Obviously, it's a newer game. People are still learning how to play the game correctly, like, knowing how to wait and stuff, but, like, it's so hard just to not activate anything during your turn and then activate a flip. So, cards that help with domination and cards that get domination. Obviously, we have cards like Inferno Wing, which is my favorite card in the deck. Both its artwork, its effect, I love it all. Cutepocalypse is a domination card that gets you to draw 3 in the later game. Yeah, because turn 4 is later game. Consort obviously helps. Light's Courage is a domination card that gains 800 B power for just 2. It's insane. That's also why I like using Darkus Hydorous Ultra, because it can get that first turn win really easily, especially if you land on like the magic shield that you get from Haos Nillious. And then Haos Titan Nillious also gain... Oh, sorry for my shaky hand. Also gains cores just off of its own effect if you can land on that magic shield. I do really want to get more magic shield, but at the moment there's nothing really good. I'm hoping once Dragonoid Ultra comes out and we actually get some Evos for it in like April or May or whenever the second set comes out, I can switch out Pyrus Dragonoid for Pyrus Dragonoid Ultra, because he has a magic shield, and then I can just have 2 magic shields on my team. I never want to take off Darkus Hydorous, because he's like my main win con at the beginning of the game. He is so strong early game, and even late game. Like once you get his Evo going, it's really strong. And it's the cheapest Evo in the deck. Dan Kouzo is an alright card. I've gotten him out a couple of times. I've even Evo'd off of him the turn I use something. I haven't gotten the Dan Kouzo into Titan Dragonoid combo yet, which I'm really hoping eventually happens, because that'd be hilarious just to win in a tournament or something like that. Just Dan Kouzo lands Dragonoid, gets Dragonoid off of top deck, Evos into the Titan Dragonoid. That'd be hilarious. I don't really think there's much else talked about Stoneskin. Oh, China Riot. It's not that good of a card. Like, it's nice to have whenever you do. And I've gotten all three of them out before, which is hilarious, because just +3 damage to your attacks is great. But it does, like, just one of it doesn't do a lot, so you really want to either get more of it out, so that's why I play 3, or you just don't want to play it at all. This could be replaced with a lot of things. I just wanted to try it. And so far it's worked pretty well, but I don't know. It's also like my only damage boost card in the deck aside from Might of Cyndeus. So that's the deck. That's all of it. Some of the key strategies to the deck. This is by far like one of the best deck constructions I've thought of. And like I've seen a lot of deck constructions and a lot of them are just inconsistent. This one has consistently won almost every game I've played with it. And it's definitely a strong showing right out the gate, even when both players are landing every single roll. This deck has won 3 out of 3 first games every single time. Every single time. I generally lose to drawing into Pact of Darkness, like, right away. And I think that's the only time I've ever lost, is the 2 games I've drawn into all 3 of my Pact of Darkness. And then had to rely on Blackhole. Oh, that's another thing. Blackhole might be coming out, but it's such a strong card just to end damage from anything, so you don't even have to worry about it if it's against Darkest like you do with the Outsider cards. I might switch it over to Pyrus, but Pyrus is a really popular attribute. That's the other thing, is like the Outsider cards, you have to make sure that you're not using the most popular attribute, because then you're going to see it all the time and you're never going to hit it, and then it's just sad. Although, of course, with this deck being as aggro and like dominant as it is, I might just take all 3 of them out and just run 3 flips, which is another possibility. Just 3 Pact of Darkness instead of the black holes, and then I'll take the black holes out for something else. Reason why I only run 2 of each Evo is because you don't ever want to see them just constantly. You don't ever want to have 3 of them in your hand. But you want to see them, and there's not a lot of hero destruction aside from in like Wax and Wane, I think they're called. Yeah, Wax and Wane. I think are the only or maybe Wax is destroy all heroes. But anyway, like I said, there's a very small amount of Evo destruction in the game at the moment. So just running 2 of them, and like the only one I really need to see every single game is Titan Dragonoid, so that would be the only one I would consider running 2 of. Or I mean 3 of in the deck. But aside from that, it's just the other 2, I see them enough. The Bakugan themselves can work by themselves. Maybe Titan Nillious, maybe Haos Nillious, not so much as Hydorous Ultra. So if you don't like the Titan Nillious in the deck, you could sub it out for Haos Pegatrix, because Haos Pegatrix worked insanely well. I never saw its Evo, I only played it as a 1-of, and just as its core base, it was insane. And it won almost every game it played in, so it was a good Bakugan. I'm actually thinking of putting it back in, but like I really want to try Titan Nillious more often, just because like that additional core from its first effect is really good. And even if you can consort the magic shield onto it, give it 650, and then you use its effect, and then gain another Fire Fist. It's so crazy. It snowballs out of control. The deck, and that's what the deck is. It's really just a snowball. You start off strong and you just keep going. Maybe not even a snowball, maybe just a boulder. But this has been my, I don't know really what I want to call it yet. I guess I'll just call it the Pyrus Avenger deck at the moment, because that's my name on the Bakugan North American community, which I will have a link below if anyone would like to join our Facebook page. We sell and trade on there, and we have a pretty good sized community at the moment. Everyone's also looking for communities in their local area, so that'll be good. So this has been Dusk Sorrow, aka Dusk the Pyrus Avenger, signing off. Everyone, Bakugan Brawl.